Hello, photo students. I'm going to teach you a few different black and white editing techniques in Photoshop. So your first step is to convert your image to black and white in Camera Raw. The first technique I'm going to teach you has to do with exposure. Exposure refers to the amount of light that's let into the lens that hits the sensor. And in black and white photography, intentionally underexposing, like I'm doing here, can create a really interesting effect in your photograph. Now, how much you choose to underexpose is up to you as the artist, but while you're in this tool, it might be interesting to then push the blacks in the image to bring back some details. So that is one technique, is to intentionally underexpose. Next, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you intentionally overexpose. So again, in this instance, we're pushing that amount of light to the other extreme, and it's going to create a very different effect. Now, how much or how little you overexpose is up to you, but you can see here it creates a very different look in the photograph, a little bit more dark and broody. While you're in this setting, you might play around with pushing then some of the whites or adjusting the whites in the image to bring back a few more of the details that get lost in that overexposure. Pretty cool effect. Next, we're going to make adjustments just to the contrast. So as you can see here, I don't like these changes, so I'm going into my History tab and I'm undoing, which is a handy trick if you ever do something in editing that you want to just back out of altogether or get back to that original image. I'm changing it to black and white now, and I am just going to play around with the contrast and see what that does to the quality of this image and how much I like it. While I'm in that setting, I might go into texture, bring out some of the more of the textures in the image so that the foreground becomes more of the focal point. And then finally, I'm going to exit out of Camera Raw and I'm going to show you how to do dodging and burning. This tool right here. Dodging and burning will allow you to adjust the values in just part of your image by either brightening or darkening depending on the effect. So first what we're going to do is we're going to use the burning tool, and we are going to change the size of the tool because we're going to burn in or add values to the sky, and it's a really large area, so we need the tool to be larger so it's easier to do. And then over here is where you can adjust the exposure, so the amount of value that you add in. And you might want to start gradually, maybe with something lower, or if you know you want high drama, then you can go for it and start at 50%. So here's what this looks like. You want to make sure that you're really covering the entire area that you intend to. So again, the larger the area, the larger the brush, and it will make sure that you hit all of the spots that you intended to. Here's what it looks like if I really crank that up. Now I'm making it even darker. Again, you want to really just continuously move the tool around so you don't end up with something like this where you just have one big burn mark in your image. Yuck. Okay, you can also change the size of that tool and make it smaller if you want to tackle a smaller area and really bring out maybe more of the dark values in one little spot in your photograph. Now we're going to look at dodging. So dodging is where you're going to remove some value. You're going to lighten areas. So you're going to take an area of your photograph that's already a little bit light and you're going to brighten or lighten that. So this is a really great technique if you want to draw attention to part of your photograph, like that there's something in the foreground, like these plants here, that you really want to draw the viewer's eye to, then using that dodging tool is actually a very handy technique. However, in this photograph, I'm not sure that that's something I would choose personally, but who knows? You might decide it's just the thing that you need in your photograph to take it to the next level. There you have it. Several tools now that you can use to change your photographs.